This is the warm-up for lesson 5. So take a second and do this warm-up. So what are we doing when we're dividing? Division is the same as multiplying by the inverse, or by the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of -6/5 is -5/6. We try to simplify first. If we can't simplify, then we just multiply straight across. So we've got -5 over 18. Let's try our next one. -7/4 times the reciprocal of 3/2 is 2/3. We can simplify here. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 4 twice. And now we can multiply straight across, so we get -7 over 6. Same thing here. This would be 1/2 times -6 over 11. I always write my negative sign in my numerator, just by habit. You don't have to, but you'll see it written that way all the time. Again, we can simplify here. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into -6 -3 times. When we multiply straight across, we get -3 over 11. Our last one, 1/6 times 9/8. We can simplify again. 3 goes into 6 twice, 3 goes into 9 3 times, and so we're left with 3 over 16. So that's our warm-up. Skipping homework questions. So today we're going over solving multi-step equations. This is lesson 5. And 3.3 was where it used to be in the book, but we don't use those anymore. So, again, we're always asking ourselves, what is happening to the variable? So what's happening to our variable? Our variable here is being divided by 19. So what undoes division? Multiplying by 19. Multiplying by 19. So on our right side, what happens is we get our 19s will simplify out, and on our left side we have 19 times 12, and 19 times 12 is 228. On example 2, what's happening to the variable? Well, x is being added with -11. You could also think of this as the same problem would be 3 equals x minus 11. So we're either adding -11 or we're subtracting 11. Makes no difference. It's a -11. So what's the inverse of -11? That would be a +11. So we're going to add 11 to both sides. So we get x equals 14. So you guys try these. So pause it for a second and try to do these, and then we'll go through them. Here we'll subtract 19. 30 minus 19 is 11. For 5, we will add 2. -4 plus 2 is -2. For 4, r is being divided by 10. So we'll multiply both sides by 10. R equals, now we can simplify here. 5 goes into 10, or 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 10 twice. So we get -14. For 6, what's happening to v? It's being subtracted by 14. So we're going to add 14. V equals, what is this? -15. When we have more than one step, we need to remember to work backwards through our order of operations. So, but first here, for example 7, we've got a 3 and a 2, so that's going to combine to make 5. So n plus 5 equals -3. What's happening to the n? It's being added by 5, so we're going to subtract 5, and we get n equals -8. For example 8, we've got like terms here, -2x and 8x. Those combine to make 6 times x. What's happening to our x? It's being multiplied by 6, so we're going to divide by 6. So x equals 4. Example 9, we'd like to distribute. There's a couple different ways we can do example 9. Because there's no other variable out here, instead of distributing, I can divide, but let me show you distributing. So -6 times -5k makes 30k. -6 times -4 makes +24, and that still equals 84. So now what's happening to our variable? Our variable is being multiplied by 30, and it's being added with 24. So what's going to undo this? Well, it would be dividing and subtraction, right? What undoes addition is subtraction. What undoes multiplication is division. So when we're solving equations and we got more than one steps, we're going to work backward through the order of operations, meaning we're going to do addition and subtraction. We're going to undo before we undo multiplication and division. So we're right here. Okay, we're going to undo the addition and subtraction. So we're going to undo the addition first by subtracting 24 from both sides. And so we get 60 equals 30 times k, divide by 30, and we get k equals 2. On all of these, we can substitute in a value, our value of our variable, and see if it works. If k were 2, what's -5 times 2? That's -10 minus 4, -16 times -6, -16 and -6. Wait a minute. Oh, sorry, -14 times -6 makes 84. 10. Let's distribute. So we have to distribute first. 110 equals a negative times a positive makes a positive 8a. -2 times -6 makes positive 12 plus 6a. Now we've got like terms. I've got 8a and 6a. So those are going to combine to make 14a plus 12. Again, we've got two operations happening to our variable. We've got multiplication, it's being multiplied by 14, and we've got addition, it's being added by 12. So we're going to work our way backwards through our order of operations again. Remember, backwards through PEMDAS. So we subtract 12, subtract 12. 110 minus 12 is 98 equals 14a. Divide by 14, divide by 14, and how many times does 14 go into 98? Well, that would be 7 times. So you guys try these, take a second, see if you can't do these. So we'll distribute first. This makes 8. This makes -24x plus 6x equals -136. Combine our like terms. negative 24x and 6x makes negative 18x plus 8 equals negative 136. Subtract 8. Negative 18x equals negative, what is that, 144. So 144 divided by 18, or we're dividing by negative 18, negative 18. Two negatives are going to make a positive, so that makes positive 8. 12, same thing, we need to distribute first. Negative 183 equals 8 minus 64x plus 1. Well, we've got like terms 8 and 1. Negative 183 equals negative 64x plus 9. We've got multiplication with our variable, and we've got addition, so we're going to undo the addition first by subtracting 9. Negative 64x equals negative 192. Divide by negative 64. Divide by negative 64. And x equals, two negatives make a positive. X equals 3. Our next one, need to distribute. Negative 4 and negative 5 make 20n. Negative 4 times 8 makes negative 32 plus n equals 179. No, negative 179. We're going to combine our like terms. 20n and n make 21n minus 32 equals negative 179. We're going to add 32 to both sides. 21n equals negative 140, oops, not 8, 47. And so dividing by 21, divide by 21, and we get n equals negative 7. Our last one, 8 times 1, or negative 8 times 1 is negative 8. Negative 8 times 6k makes negative 48k equals negative 248. We're going to add 8, negative 48k equals negative 240. Divide by negative 48, divide by negative 48, and we get k equals 5. Our next example, what's happening to our variable? Our variable is being multiplied by 4/7. So what undoes that? Dividing by 4/7, which is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 4/7 is 7/4. 7 simplify, 4 simplify. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So here we can say, well, this is, my answer is going to be negative, so that's going to be negative 1 and 2. I'm simplifying. 2 goes into negative 2, negative 1 time. 2 goes into 4 twice. So this is negative 7 over 2, and that's P. The same thing here. Now, 3x over 5 is the exact same thing as 3/5 x. So remember that. They're the same thing. So what are we going to do? We're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. What's the reciprocal of 3/5? 5/3. The whole reason we're doing this is because we want to simplify this to 1x over on this left side, which we do. The 3's simplify, the 5 simplify, so we're left with 1x. Can I simplify on my right side? Yes, I can. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 25 5 times, 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 18 6 times, so we have 6 over 5, 6/5. You guys try these. So what's happening? We're multiplying by -2, so we're going to divide by -2. Well, what undoes division? Multiplying by its reciprocal, so the reciprocal of -2 is -1/2. So we're going to multiply both sides by -1/2. That leaves me with n on my right side. My 2's simplify out, and I'm left with -1/3. 18. What's the reciprocal of 2/3? 3/2. Multiply both sides by 3/2. That simplifies on my right or left side. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 4 twice. So I've got -2 times 3, which is -6 over 5. Keep my negative. I've got one negative factor, so my answer is going to be negative. 19. What's the reciprocal of -13/4? Would be -4/13. Multiply by -4/13. Well, we can look at the right side. It's going to simplify. So we'll be left with 1m. 2 negatives here, so I'm going to forget about my negative because 2 negative factors make a positive. And now we're just going to simplify. So this is 4 goes into 25 times. 4 goes into 4 once. 13, so this is 1/5. Homework is homework 5.